Hi Melanie, this is Fancy, and I'm looking at your three solutions to the La Jetée poster. And I know that you aren't a design major, and so you don't have to go through portfolio review. What I find interesting about your work is you really do have a good eye for arranging type. Just uh, you have a good eye for visual hierarchy and also choosing type. Families that go well together and just arranging groups of information. So kudos to you for that. The three solutions that you present are pretty basic, kind of these screen captures or images from the movie overlaid with type. As I mentioned, that is relatively well typeset. Um, the one that I don't think you should go with, the direction I don't think you should go with, is the second one, the middle one, where you're kind of posterizing the artwork or the image into kind of flat color and flat shape. I don't think that's working well. So it's either the first solution or the third solution. So right now I'm looking at the first solution, and one thing I don't think works well is this smaller image that's inside this horizontal bar. It's really isn't obvious to the person who has never seen the movie or is unfamiliar with the movie to see it because of the low contrast. And once they do see it, um, it's a really difficult image to discern, I think. Um, Same for this one too. You've collaged this portion of the main character in the hammock, behind this other main image. So I'm not even sure I would include this part of the image or this part of the image. It's just clutter. Now you could go and you could manipulate the photos to be more clear about these parts that are currently not very discernible. You could definitely do that. Looking at the type setting, I don't think that you need this character on the ends. At first I liked it, but I'm kind of the opinion if it's extraneous, then leave it out. But I do like them in between. That's something that I often do myself. I like to use this to divide information or pieces of information, and that works well. I would separate this a little bit from this information, or I would like put it a little bit further down. Because it's smaller, they're word marks. Um, they could go up here where it's Design in the Dark free film series, but it's so different that I would probably move it down here or maybe move it down here to kind of balance this information. You need to maintain a consistent margin over here between the right side of these blocks of text. So you've done it here and here, but not here. So this needs to shift over so that they all align on the right. I think this works well. A Chris Marker film, I like that you have set part of it in white. The most important part, his name, which is more high contrast than the dark black letter forms against a gray background. So if this is more high contrast, that's good thinking. Everything is all caps except for the title. So I might set maybe some of this information in lowercase. I like that this appears to be the same point size and typeface as this, so I think that works well. Nice balance, good choice of images. So let's take a look at the other one. So I'm just going to switch over to the third one. There we go. We talked about this last time. It's interesting that they are kind of they have these looks on their faces, kind of very grim, sad, solemn, and one is looking in this direction and one is looking in that direction. They're separated by a fair amount of space. This is the larger image, plus, it's a heavier image, there's more black value. So and because of the way that it's cropped, it anchors well to the bottom of the page. And so this guy here, I think we talked about, he's kind of cut off at the chin. We don't see the same amount of information that we see for her. We see her chin, we see part of her neck and her shoulders and upper torso. All we see here is his head, and his chin is cut off. So it's rather abrupt. What might be interesting is if you maybe kind of continue this, or you have like a black horizontal bar and you have a Chris Marker film in white reversed out of that black horizontal bar. That might have a similar feeling to this, but it also might look kind of awkward. I'm not sure. I would have to see it. Kind of similar to what you've done here, but in black. And because you've done it here, if you do it here, I would probably take this out. I don't think you need to. I like that this gradates a bit from white to the background, a transparent back to white again. It's kind of nice how it kind of ebbs and flows out of the medium gray background. I might continue it all the way across. Here you can see that the space is uneven, so the space is not equal, and it should be. It doesn't mean that this has to be, but this really should be. So you could line the left side of this up with this if you don't continue it off the edge of the picture plane or closer to the edge of the picture plane. I think you've got 1, 2, 3, and if we don't count the word marks, you've got 3 different typefaces, I believe. And I don't think that this goes well with this. And I'm not even sure I like this all caps and serif with this. It seems very busy to me. Same kind of deal here. I'm not sure that you need these on the end. I might take them out, but leave the ones in between important pieces of text. And here, you've got sponsored by Friends of the Goldstein College of Design. See how that fits a little bit better together? I might be tempted to make this typeface different than this typeface. And then pair these two pieces of information together, these 2 lines of type together, by giving more space in between these 2 and these 2. Again, everything is all in caps except the title, so I might want to change that up a little bit and mix some upper and lower case. This might be a good place to do it. And then, considering these screen captures, I would get rid of all extraneous information that's not necessary, like these little specks. Does this have to be there? Does this have to be there? Where can you clean it up? Same here. How much of this visual information can you take out? Little specks, 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 specks. So those are my comments. Oh, I also like the way that this radial gradation, you don't really see it as a radial gradation because it's so scaled up, but it creates this glow on the title, which is the most important piece of information, and I think that works well. All right, for what it's worth. I look forward to seeing what you do with it on Monday.